childish. Come on, it's gonna be all right.
Isn't that silly? Just when you think you have everything under control, your body betrays you. Just starts shaking.
Come on, it's all finished now.
Why hasn't Lee called?
Well, darling, probably because he has nothing to tell us. I'm sure as soon as he has any news at all, he'll call. Come on, don't worry. Relax. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's gonna be great.
I don't see how it can be. Not until I know what Father wrote in that letter.
Well, I think the manger's a rather cute touch. Yours, of course?
It's never a complete Christmas without a manger.
Yeah, I used to think that, too.
What do you mean used to? You mean you don't now?
I'm sorry. It's just kind of hard to get into the spirit.
It's cool, darling. We understand.
But I can try.
Hit it.
Trying real hard.
Yeah, I know. You've heard no word from Lee?
No, Robert, I think by now, if the judge gets a letter, he won't open it until after New Year's.
What about tonight? Are you still going to have the Christmas party here?
Bah humbug. I think it's pointless. Damn it, I wish I could give her some kind of information, whether it's good or bad. It's this not knowing that's the worst.
Is it?
It will. I swear it will.
The lessons ran out.
Come on. Let's get back here. Try this.
All right.
Hey, don't stop for me. I'm not exactly the joy of Christmas today.
Come on, Tiff. No one's that full of ho-ho-ho, not these days. Anyway, what's got you down, or do I need to guess?
Oh, I'm sure you've already guessed.
No.
Give this man a cigar.
Come on, you'll pick yourself up. You have in the past.
Yeah, well, the trouble is, Robert, I don't want to.
Oh, darling, look at you. I mean, well, it's a bit gaudy, but you are the living, breathing spirit of Christmas.
You mean this cape? Well, I thought I could at least pretend to be having fun.
Ah, yes, but you see, you're not pretending. You never have pretend. You've never needed to pretend. That's one thing I know about you. You're always in control of yourself.
I don't feel like it.
You can't help yourself. It's like breathing. It comes naturally. And in the nicest possible way, darling. You like yourself. I've always admired that in you.
Well, I tell you, I don't like myself very much right now. Oh, Robert, I blew it. And you know what's worse is I know exactly how I did it. I waited too long. I just waited too long.
Wait a minute. You've got me. Back up a bit.
I expected Noah to come running to make up with me. So I just sit back and let him sweat it out. Well, he didn't come running. He didn't come at all. I waited too long, and now I've lost him.
Wait a minute. Wait. It's this old saying. Not a particularly good saying, but an old one. It goes something like, the opera's not finished till the fat chick sings the final chorus. I told you it didn't make much sense.
Right.
It's not hopeless. Now, where's he live? It's, Long Island, isn't it?
Yeah, he's there with his family.
All right. You ring up right now and start to put the pieces back together.
No, I thought about doing that, Robert, but I just don't think it's a very good idea to call him there. I'm just going to wait and wait if I can wait. What can I do?
Wait for what?
I don't know. Love to run its course.
You've never done that in the past, so why start now?
Well, what do you expect me to do?
Well, you must have had plans. I mean, especially now that the star's gone down the chute. Huh?
I had plans, Robert. But they all included Noah.
So you make new ones. This time, just for yourself.
Like what?
me say it, aren't you? You're a damn good actress, Tiffany. Or has that point eluded you of late?
I was once.
You still are. Look, acting's like brain surgery. Once you've done it, you never forget it.
I wonder if that's true.
Of course it's true. Now, we've got to start to get your life back together again. First thing you do is contact that agent of yours. What's his face? Mickey, right. You're going to call up Mickey and say, Mick, I am raring to go. Where's the deal?
You know, I may just do that.
Forget the may. Do it.
Oh, Robert, you're always so good for me. Okay, I'll do it. I promise I will do it.
That's my darling. It's the girl I know and love.
I'll get it. That's the phone. Santa's workshop.
Luke, it's Lee Baldwin.
Oh, good. Lee, I'm glad you called. What's happening?
Well, I think you and Holly better get down here to the courthouse right away.
Has the judge read the letter?
Yes, he has, and he's getting ready to announce his decision.
We're on our way. Come on, baby. Where's the luck?
It's probably going on right now.
Lee, so did Coleman read the letter?
He has read it. He is in the library right now deciding what to do about it.
What did the letter say?
Well, Holly, we have to follow procedure in these matters. The judge alone can divulge the contents of the letter, although Mr. Richardson and I both have a fairly good idea what it says.
Yes, and what to do when His Honor does read it.
Well, I'm sure you're perfectly prepared, Mr. Richardson.
I try to be.
Well, seems our session is enlarged.
Yes, Your Honor, with your permission, I felt that Luke and Holly should be here, so I sent for them. And Mr. Richardson had no objection.
True?
Yes, no objection, Your Honor.
Well, let's proceed. Since the accused is here, I'll read the letter aloud.
Luke and Holly should be there by now.
Easily, I bet they ran all the way.
Does that mean that when they get there that they're going to read the letter?
Well, I think so, but more important, Lee will probably ask the judge to rule on it.
We know what that means.
Everything.
I think both counsels should be aware of the fact that this letter was written by Charles Sutton while on his hospital bed. It is signed by 2 witnesses, and it also has the proper form of dating.
So noted, Your Honor.
I, Charles Sutton, being aware of my death, it being imminent, do hereby declare that my daughter Holly had no knowledge of any violence perpetrated by any member of my family or anyone else. To the contrary, she was very much against violence of any kind. I state without reservation that she is innocent of any crime of violence. She neither committed a murder or assault, had any knowledge of a murder or assault, and was in no way an accessory to a murder or assault. The letter is then duly signed by Charles Sutton.
Your Honor,
Yes, proceed.
I
Mr. Richardson.
respectfully suggest that this letter has no legal weight on the matter before this court. That's the act of a dying man trying to protect his daughter.
I assume you are invoking the hearsay rule, Mr. Richardson.
There's ample precedent for that, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin, would you care to comment?
Yeah, I certainly would, Your Honor. In both British and American jurisprudence, the doctrine of res ipse loquitur applies. Now, the thing, in this case, a deathbed confession, speaks for itself. May I continue?
You may.
Further, it is well established that the author of that letter, Charles Sutton, being deceased, is not available, and that alone is a reason that the hearsay rule does not apply. May I continue?
You certainly may.
Further, and equally important, this letter is against the author's own best wishes, and that in itself renders it valid, worthy of full weight and consideration. And finally, Your Honor, as you know, a deathbed confession not only obviates the hearsay rule, but it merits credence for the established fact that a man who is well aware of his own imminent death tells the truth.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Richardson?
I rest on the hearsay argument, Your Honor.
Yes. You have something to say?
Your Honor, no matter what you decide about the letter, I would like to request that you permit Holly to go to Canada to be at her father's funeral.
Your request is noted.
If it please the court, I move a dismissal of all charges against my client, Holly Sutton.
That is succinct, Mr. Baldwin.
Well, I meant for it to be, Your Honor. I mean, the letter speaks for itself. It argues for no other course of action.
Very well, then. As the time is getting late, and I believe that I have both issues well in mind, I think that at this time I would pass on my ruling to you. Miss Sutton, would you please rise? First, the court commends Mr. Baldwin for his knowledge of the law and the precedent in the matter of his deathbed communications. A dying man does not incriminate himself with the intention of deceiving. And since Mr. Sutton's letter indicates, without any question, that he was aware of his imminent death, I believe that taking that and the applicable law into account, I must go with Mr. Baldwin's opinion in this case. The court, therefore, dismisses the case against Miss Holly Sutton completely. This session is adjourned.
Oh, Holly, that's it. You're free.
No, I don't believe it.
Free, baby. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, Jim.
Duke, what happened?
Tell him.
I'm free.
Yay! All right. It's true. The judge dismissed all charges against her.
Well, that's the best news I've heard all year.
How did it happen? My father's letter exonerated me completely, and the judge accepted it. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Oh.
We all are, Holly.
Oh, I talk
Merry
about the best
Christmas.
Christmas present that ever was.
Oh, here come the kids. Look, they can't see Santa like this. Excuse me.
All right, hey, let's go. Boy, you guys gotta follow me. No wisecracks, all right? Ready?
It was the Christmas present I was praying for.
You and me both, Mary.
Oh, Merry Christmas, both
Thank
of
you.
you.
Listen, we're expecting you later. As a matter of fact, you're all invited. All right?
Where? What time?
The Star, anytime tonight. We're going to have the biggest Christmas celebration anybody ever saw. Please come and enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Children, if you'll just gather around this chair and we can all start humming softly, I want to tell you a story. Come on. We can all start humming, huh? Here, you sit here. This is a story about the first Christmas, almost 2,000 years ago. It's also a story of a very special baby.
The baby Jesus?
Yes, indeed. But we're skipping ahead now. This was a bitter cold winter night when the wind was blowing so hard it made tears come to your eyes. And on that very night, a young couple was traveling on their way to Bethlehem. They were very cold and very tired. And these two travelers were so poor, they had only one donkey. The man was a carpenter named
Joseph.
And his wife's name?
Mary.
And Mary was going to have a baby. But they had a long, long way to travel. Finally, after miles and miles, Joseph saw this dim light. It was an inn. And he told Mary that everything was going to be all right. Does everybody know what an inn is?
Like a motel?
Exactly. A warm place where they could spend the night. And Joseph thought if he could get Mary out of the cold to rest, she might be all right. So helping her along, they went to the door of the inn. Joseph knocked, and when the innkeeper opened the door, he took one look at this worn-out couple, and he knew.
They didn't have any money?
So what did he say to them?
Sorry, Joseph and Mary.
Mm-hmm. And he shut the door fast. Joseph was terribly disappointed. He looked at Mary, and she was too tired to even cry. Maybe that's when he got this brilliant idea.
The stable!
Mm-hmm. Well, Joseph figured it would at least be warm there. And if it would get Mary out of the cold to rest, she might still be all right. So they went to the stable. It was warm in there, all right, but very crowded with animals.
donkeys, horses, cows, sheep.
In fact, there were so many animals that for a while it looked like Joseph and Mary might not be able to squeeze in. But then a very strange thing happened.
The animals moved over and made room for Mary.
They sure did. And Joseph got some fresh straw and fixed a bed for Mary. She lay down. And then a hush came over the stable.
Even more quieter than that. The donkeys didn't bray, and the cows didn't moo. And in that hush, a baby was born. They called him Jesus. And he grew up to teach us that there's goodwill in all of us, and that we can always improve our lives no matter what has happened in the past. And he also taught us the most important thing in the world. That we should all love each other.
That's right. And we do love each other, don't we? Right here in this room, there is so much love. Just look around you. You can see it. You can feel it. This is also, let's not forget, a time of joy. Blackie?
Merry Christmas!
Oh. Well, I don't know about you, but I am stuffed.
Up to here.
I feel like a suckling pig ready to give birth.
I was doing okay up until that fifth helping of pudding. Then I kind of got carried away.
I think you can thank Nanny for the pudding.
Oh, speaking of Nanny, where is she? I hope she's not in the kitchen doing dishes.
No. She went to call her friends in Victoria to wish them a Merry Christmas.
What do you say to walk around the deck?
Now, there's a good idea. Help us work off some of this food.
Robert.
Oh, maybe later.
Good idea.
What were you
Anything to get out of the
darling?
dishes.
Merry Christmas. A little wine, perhaps?
It's a much better idea anyway.
You know, it's funny.
What?
Well, here we are, both broke, completely flat on our backs. And I think it's going to be one of the best Christmases I ever had.
You know, I keep saying to myself over and over, I'm free. Mostly thanks to you.
Well, that's the best present either one of us could have got, isn't it? I couldn't afford much else.
I don't want anything else, ever.
Really? Well, I managed to get something else.
What?
Well, do you remember when you told me about the Christmases in Victoria? The Christmas pudding and baking a sixpence into it for good luck?
I've done it ever since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got Nanny aside, and she found a sixpence for me. So I had it chopped in half, put on the chains.
Chopped in half?
Yeah, see? There's the...
That's beautiful.
This half is yours. And I'll wear the other half. Together they make a whole. When you wear it, think of me. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.